everybody, Backyard Bullion here. Welcome to episode 90 of In Focus Friday. Now today is a very special episode of In Focus Friday, not because of the coin that we're featuring per se, but because today is the first video that I'm creating in glorious 4K. I've upgraded my camera, so you have to excuse me as I get to grips using the camera and getting all of the intricate little bits and bobs sorted. But hopefully it will be a really great addition to the channel, certainly for In Focus Friday, so we can see all of these coins up close and personal in glorious and crisp 4K. Now, last week we had a look at the gold 1 ounce 2011 Britannia, which is a really nice coin actually. I'm a big fan of it. I think it's glorious. I think it looks really good with that field of flag and Britannia floating in and around it. There were a few of you who are not so sure, but if you haven't checked it out, please do go have a look. The link is down in the description below. Now, as you can see, the winner from last week's vote was the Canadian Incuse Maple. It was an incredibly close vote, just one vote between all three items, so thank you for voting if you did. The Bull and Bear and the Prospector bars will be returning at the end of this episode with one very, very interesting looking coin, which I think is going to smash them out of the water. So make sure you stick around and cast your vote for what you want to see next week. Now today, Canadian Maple Leaf, the Incuse Maple Leaf. This is one of the kind of celebratory coins for the 30th anniversary of the Canadian Maple. Get it all nicely in focus here on the brand new camera, and I hope you guys can see a difference here of the quality and kind of clarity of the camera doing the work on that. But you know, I'm looking at the viewfinder of the camera and I have to say I can see a difference. It looks absolutely amazing and really clear and crisp and clean, so hopefully you guys can see that. Anyway, back to the coin itself. So the 2018 year for the Canadian Maples is the 30th anniversary. Now we've seen another anniversary maple come out. It's got 30 and the maple kind of in and around the 30 symbol, but this is another kind of extension to the maple offerings, and it is an Incuse design. Now the Incuse, the word Incuse, when I first got started with you know, collecting coins, I didn't know what Incuse was, and I saw a lot of words for this, like, you know, on the Incuse Indians, for example, and I was always like, what does it Incuse mean? Incuse simply means that the design has been pressed into the field of the coin. So you can see here, Queenie on this side has been pressed into the field of the coin. The letters here are sticking out, so they are not Incuse, but the design itself is pressed in. And the same is said for the maple on this side. So you can see it's pressed in, which makes it kind of, I don't know, it looks good. I have to say, it does look good. That said, I was expecting a deeper field, and I really do think they've missed an opportunity here, the Canadian Mint, to really get a deep, almost 3D style effect on this design. Whilst I have to admit it does look good, and I have to say it's very good price as well for what it is. You know, it's a different coin, it looks different, it looks great. It's a cheap bullion coin, but I still think that they missed a trick. You know, even just 1/10 of a millimeter more or something like that would have given it a bit more oomph, because when it's in its plain field, when it's just vertically head on like this, you can't really tell that it's, you know, very Incuse. And then when you look at a very kind of flat horizontal field, you can't really tell that it's very, very Incuse. And I would think it would have looked even better if it had been. But hey ho, that's me. I'm not the head of the Canadian Mint design department, so you know, they've done a good job, but I think they could have done better. That's my own thoughts on it. Now, maples generally, should you be buying them? That's always a question, and I see a lot of people very negative about maples because ultimately they have been plagued, and I think that's the only real word of that we can say here, is they've been plagued by milk spots. We can't talk about maples without talking about milk spots. And there have been so many problems over time with milk spots. Now, why I'm talking about that for this coin is because there is an interesting new piece of technology which has been used on this coin called Mint Shield, which is supposed to eliminate the milk spotting. Now, I have to say, from seeing this coin here in front of me, I've had it you know, sat on my desk pretty much out of the capsule for the last 3 or 4 weeks, and it has not milk spotted yet. I can't see any milk spots. There's a couple of little finger smudges on there, which I've, you know, handled this coin a few times, but I can't see what I would describe as a traditional milk spot yet. That doesn't mean that it will not definitely come. It might still come in time. The Mint Shield technology might delay it rather than actually eliminate the problem altogether. Who knows? But it's a good step in the direction. At least the Canadian Mint is listening to their consumers, to listening to customers, listening to dealers out there who are saying that they are constantly plagued by the milk spotting. Now, I've talked about milk spotting before, but essentially they've worked out that it's something in the manufacturing process, some chemical that they're using, I think, to cool the coins, and it's reacting with the silver over time, and sometimes it can take weeks or months or even years for the milk spots to really develop in their full form. So hopefully this will eliminate some of that, and this will maybe be a good thing. But at the end of the day, they've got 29 years of horrible milk spotted Canadian maples behind them to try and get through, to really kind of get that that sort of reputation back from the bullion community as a good coin to buy. A lot of people will buy these if they're dirt cheap, if they are spot price or below. I would personally buy them all day long if they were spot price, but wouldn't necessarily buy them if they're going to be a lot more than spot. Now, these are not the cheapest silver coins that you can buy, these Incuse maples, because they're slightly different. There hasn't actually been a mintage figure released on these, so I can't tell you exactly what the mintage is going to be. But they're not the cheapest, but they're not the most expensive. So hopefully, you can pick up some of these as a little bit of a nice addition to your stack, and it's a good coin to appreciate. Now, there is one other cool thing I have to say about this, which I wanted to talk about. And you see here this little sort of privy mark almost, which is a maple, and it's got 18 in it. If we can let's see if we can get even closer with 4K to see if we can focus on it. Let's see how close we can get. This is really testing the camera now. That's about as close as we can get. So you can see there, 18. What's special about that? You might just think, well, that's 2018, isn't it? Well, this is apparently called the Bullion Dna. And what that means is that the Canadian Royal Mint has laser etched this 18 in there with a certain type of kind of, micro etching technology that has allowed them to make a unique pattern within that 18, and then that pattern is individually scanned into their database. So theoretically, this is a security measure that can actually be used to verify whether a maple is part of their sort of secure database of scans of laser micro etching. So I guess that's one way for bigger dealers and things to be able to scan that. If somehow you've got a telescopic lens on your camera, you can get really down there and see the etched details, then you can verify that this is one of the real Canadian Incuse maples. Whilst we're zoomed in, let's have a quick look at the rest of the coin. But yeah, so that's an interesting addition. I wouldn't say that's going to be a really useful thing for the everyday stacker. It's nice to see it on there, but at the end of the day, when you're trying to look at that with your naked eye, it's almost impossible to see. I'm getting really close here with a 4K camera, and it's not that clear. It's pretty crystal clear, but it's not really zoomed in as much as it could be. But that is an interesting thing. It's nice to see more security measures on a coin, I have to say. It's always good to see them, as many security measures as possible that can be on any coin, but it's not really the most practical one to see for the everyday stacker. There's got good old Queenie. So you can see the Incuse sort of design there. It's maybe a little bit more evident on Queenie, but I think that's because she's got quite a plain field on her stamp rather than the Incuse maple, which has got obviously all the texturing of the actual maple itself. So there you go. I think it's a pretty cool coin. I think that the new additions to the coin in terms of the Incuse design and the additional security features make it an interesting one. Of course, the mint shield technology as well is going to be, I think, only time will tell whether it actually works and whether it works properly or not. But I would be very intrigued to know your thoughts. What do you think about this coin? Have you got some of them yourself? Have you picked up some of these for your own stack? Are you picking them up in volume for your own stack? I'd be very curious to know. I have only picked up this one simply to share with you guys here on In Focus Friday. So if you do go out and buy some, I'd love to know. That's one of the coolest things I get to hear from episodes of In Focus Friday. Now, next week we have returning items. We have the bull and bear. So this is the bull side and the bear side, representing bull and bear markets within silver. We have the Prospector gold and gems bars. Now these have been floating around for a long time, so they do need to be featured at some point, guys. However, I don't think this is the week, because I've got a very, very cool looking coin here which will look absolutely amazing under 4K, and that is the Zsin Gallus coin, and I picked this up off eBay. Anyway, I'll tell you more about it next week, because it's probably going to win. But prove me wrong. If you'd like to see any of these items, please do comment down in the comment section below. Here's the other side of it, by the way. It absolutely looks amazing. But anyway, enough of that. I'm swaying the vote, I know, but hey-ho, it's my channel. What can you do? So please do vote down below. If you like this video, if you like that Incuse maple leaf, please do hit the thumbs up button and share this video around on any social media that you may have. That would be very helpful to everything that I do here on my channel. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please make sure you do hit that subscribe button. We're in the middle of an epic 1200 ounce unboxing extravaganza. So if you haven't checked out the two videos I've done previously, the unboxing and the the sort of devil's advocate approach to buying that much silver, then please do go have a look, and also make sure you subscribe because there's 2 more videos coming out this weekend showing more of that 1200 ounces. Otherwise, that's all I have to say. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's episode of In Focus Friday, and please make sure to remember to like, share, comment and subscribe for more.